What is up, YouTube? Brad Hoover from Rants here. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. All right, so Spider-Man No Way Home to me, in my personal opinion, was by far the best Marvel, Sony, Spider-Man, whatever you want to say, one of the best superhero movies of all time. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I thought it was perfection. I thought it was the best way that you could please fans, do some, when it come to bringing back old characters, um, beloved Spider-Mans of the past, and also adding a little bit of depth to them as well. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was done perfectly. I thought you couldn't, when I heard there was going to be so many villains in there, I thought there's no way. I thought it was going to be a complete and total mess. I thought you wouldn't be able to have all these villains on screen at the same time or throughout this movie and make it decent. But it turned out I was wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong. And I'll admit I was wrong. And I'm thankful for that. But according to Marisa Tomei, it just wasn't good enough. And that she reveals she wanted to make Aunt May a homosexual in Spider-Man franchise. Now, see, this is the one thing that I don't really ever understand with this. I don't understand why they want to take characters that are known, especially a character like Aunt May. Aunt May, I never was really a big fan of Marissa Tomei actually as Aunt May in the first place. Aunt May, according to everything, is pretty old. And the fact that she was so young in this, I was like, I didn't really like that aspect of it. I thought she did a decent job as Aunt May, don't get me wrong. Um, but I've never understood the fact of why they want to change existing characters, beloved characters, into something they're not. Simply for no other reason than it's 21st century. They only say we're updating the character. Well, sometimes characters don't need to be updated. They're not problematic. They're not problematic the way they are. They should just remain the same, at least in my eyes. But according to these SJWs, they feel like that's not good enough. That everything has to be changed for 2021 eyes. And that's really disturbing in a lot of ways for me because it takes the fun out of these movies. It takes the fun out of these characters because, now you don't know what this character is going to be like in 10 years. And it's going to piss you off in a lot of ways if you care about these characters, if you grew up with them, and then you realize that your Spider Man, your Superman, your Batman is just a whole of his former self. He's not going to be the same character as what you grew up with 10 or 15 years from now. I can almost guarantee you that. And it's going to be because of people like Marissa Tomei that's happening. Let's go ahead and let's read about what she says. It says actress Marissa Tomei recently claimed she pitched an idea to make Aunt May a homosexual in the Spider-Man franchise. Tomei's comments came during an interview with Geeks of Color where she was asked about her character's relationship with Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan. Speaking to that relationship and her on screen dynamic with Favreau, Tomei stated, he's so funny. His improv skills, it's just great to be able to work opposite him. But then she's like, I actually didn't want him in the first place. She continued, I really feel that their relationship is more off than on. I think they're friends. They get along. There's a true camaraderie, and they are both invested in Peter so much. But I think it was just like they are stuck together. It's like being on a desert island, right? There's no one else they can talk to right now. They like each other enough. They had their fun, their fling, but they are still cool with each other, she elaborated. Um, Tomei then revealed she pitched a homosexual Aunt May. At one point, this was before even the idea of Happy showed up. There was a moment where I felt that maybe she should just be with a woman because Ben is gone. And who should she be with? So Ben is gone, so she should just turn lesbian. Is that the way it goes? Um, and we're kind of talking about it. And so I actually really wanted Amy Pascal from Sony to be my girlfriend, she said. Tomei then described how she pitched the homosexual Aunt May. I was like, no one even has to know, Amy. I'll just be in a scene and you'll be over there and I'll just be like, hey, it'll just be a subtle thing. So basically, she didn't even want it fully and totally. Like she wanted to kind of do like what they did in Star Wars, where they had a homosexual kiss far, far in the background, but not very where very many eyes could actually see it. And of course, probably dump it when it comes to the release in China. Tomei then added, no one went for it at the time. Why do you think they didn't go for it? Because they wanted to make probably a good movie. They didn't, they wanted to maybe do something different than what the Eternals tried to do, where they, or, any of these other, characters in Marvel, it seems like in phase four, want to do, of maybe not trying to piss off fans and maybe just, I don't know, trying to actually make a good movie. I know that's foreign to Hollywood now. I really do. And I understand it totally. They don't know what they're doing. They rely upon remakes of good material, good movies, good series. And they try to market those as if they're the same when they're completely different. So, no, Marisa Tomei, I feel like your idea was terrible. I'm glad they didn't go for it. If they would have gone for it, there would have been an uproar. And to me, to be completely and totally honest, I wouldn't care that much. But I know a lot of fans would have just completely deserted this movie. And that wouldn't have been fair to this movie and everyone else in it because this was a really good movie. And people wouldn't have gone and saw it probably if you would have had your way in a lot of ways. Not because people hate homosexuals or any of that kind of stuff. It's not about anti anything. It's just about comic book fans are very particular when it comes to their comics. Comics has been around since what, the 1940s, 1950s. So it's been around a long time. So we have a lot of source material over a lot of these characters. And you can't just do something for 40 years and then change it and expect fans not to be pissed about it. Fans that are invested into these things, they want a certain bit of characters that they recognize. We want a Peter Parker that we recognize. We want a Aunt May that we recognize. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bigoted about that. If they wanted to add a new character that was lesbian, or if she wanted to play a different character that was lesbian, that would have been completely and totally fine in this movie. As long as it wasn't, I don't know, Peter Parker, or Mary Jane or any of those, then I don't think fans would have had any problem with it. There wouldn't have been a meltdown. But if she'd have had her way, we wouldn't have had as good of a movie, and it wouldn't have been such a success, which would have been terrible for this film. Whether it be marketing or just how fans react to Marvel going forward and how fans react to Tom Holland as Spider-Man moving forward, or just the Spider-Man franchise in just altogether. I feel like that would have been really irresponsible of her, really irresponsible of the creators if they would have pulled that, which wouldn't have shocked me because this is Marvel. At the end of the day, I know it's Sony Marvel, but it's still Marvel, and Marvel has a bad habit of trying to do what's in 2021 and not what is really good for the series, the movie, or making fans happy anymore. It's all about how do we get our points of view, our political views, our social views into this, and how do we change these beloved characters that everybody loves and change them into something that fits more with their 2021 agenda. It's really what comes down to it. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Would y'all have felt any differently about the movie if Marisa Tomei would have had her way and Aunt May would have been a lesbian? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.